Hello to the Brazil team. I wanted to make this video because I had a tragic meltdown of technology the other day when I tried to set up a Google Hangouts conversation. So for those of you that joined the Hangouts on August 1st, I'm very sorry that it didn't quite work out. I believe you could hear me, but I could not hear any of you. So this video will get us all up to speed. So first of all, I am thrilled once again that you are so interested in going to Brazil with me in January. I just got off the phone a few minutes ago with faculty members in the Brazilian university that we're going to partner with when we're in Ouro Preto. She is super excited to meet all of you, and I'm excited to make that connection for you. So what you're seeing on your screen is a brief list of things that I wanted to cover with you. First of all, if you look at all the pictures, you can see the fellow travelers that you'll be with in January. If everybody's on board and ready to commit to the program, we have 13 students, all of whom I've gotten to know a little bit, either through classes or other ways of communicating. And I think we have a really fantastic group. All of you are really excited to go. In your application, you've made it very clear that you're excited about the trip, you're comfortable with traveling in other countries, comfortable with some measure of uncertainty that always happens on trips of this nature. But the bottom line is I'm just thrilled you're able to come. So what I was going to have us do on the Google Hangouts was practice a little Portuguese. So if you look at item 1 on the list, you can see hello and good afternoon. And I was going to ask each of you to practice this. So maybe you could do this on your own. But it's hello and good afternoon is pronounced Olá e boa tarde. Olá e boa tarde. So I try to put the phonetic spelling in italics. And then for your name, like if you want to say, hi, my name is Richard, you would say, Oi, meu nome é Ricardo. Oi, o meu nome é Ricardo. So the nome and the a are kind of flow together. So it's Oi, meu nome é Ricardo. So give it a try. Practice those two phrases, and that'll be your first Portuguese lesson. When we meet in January before the trip, I'm very excited to introduce you to Maria and Nels, husband and wife team, who are going to give us some more Portuguese Brazilian lessons. All right, so let's move on here. The next thing I wanted to talk about were some key dates. So I mentioned this in the Google Hangout, but I'd very much like you to set aside January 3rd and January 4th for 2 pre-trip class meetings. These will be only about 3 or 4 hours each, but the university has some requirements for covering safety protocols. I also want to, like I said before, give you a little bit of basic Portuguese Brazilian training, and also just talk about the course in general. So I'm hoping I'm asking you to set these days aside early enough, but please set January 3rd and 4th aside for some meetings. On January 5th, the big day, ideally I would love all of us to be on the same flight down to Brazil. I think it will just make things logistically much easier. Plus, by joining this specific flight, you'll be able to take advantage of the low-cost ground transportation that I've arranged. So I'll say more on airfare in a moment, but the current plan is to fly from SFO around, right here is the flight information. So this is the flight that I'd like all of us to be on. Departing San Francisco January 5th, arriving the same evening in Miami, changing planes to flight 991, and arriving in Belo Horizonte at 9:50 a.m. on January 6th. So again, I know I sound like a broken record here, but I think it's very, very important that we all be on that same flight. I just think it will make everyone's life much easier. So let's keep going. In terms of other key dates, once we arrive in Ouro Preto on January 6th, we'll have about 4 or 5 days there. Combination of lots of things. I'm putting together some social events, also some lectures with the Brazilian faculty. We're going to do some service learning work in Veloso, which is a favela inside of Ouro Preto. We're going to take part in a parade going through town that day or that week. So lots of great stuff. Cooking classes, perhaps, tours of 17th century cathedrals. We're going to have a lot of time to walk the beautiful streets of Ouro Preto. I think you'll just have a fantastic time. Then on January 11th, we're going to fly from Belo Horizonte to Rio. We're going to do that probably in the mid-morning. So that'll be a very early day. Early awakening and taking a 2-hour van ride back to the Belo Horizonte airport and then the 1-hour flight to Rio. From January 11th to the 15th, we'll be in Rio. Lots of things going on there. We're going to meet the city planners. We're going to walk through some of the urban design projects that are underway in Rio. We're going to talk about the legacy of the Olympics in terms of the venues and the transportation planning that took place, as well as the social impacts of the Olympics on the city. Built into this time in Rio is going to be one beach day, I'm going to call it, a down day. I think by that time we're all going to need it. So I'll describe more when we meet next time. Then in terms of returning to the US, I think we can be pretty flexible. As long as all of the students are with me on the morning of January 15th to wrap up the course, you can really depart on any flight that you wish, and you might actually wish to stay in Rio a few more days. However, on January 18th, I would like to get together for one class meeting after the trip so that we can all discuss what we saw, what we learned, and basically have a debriefing. So big picture, those are the key dates. Okay, airfare. Many of you have been asking me about airfare. Here's the first thing to keep in mind. I know that purchasing airfare now in the summer will actually save us money. However, I do want to point out that this is against San Jose State's policy for faculty-led programs. The way San Jose State would prefer that it happen is that all the students commit to the program, make the program official, so to speak, and then purchase airfare. In that case, if we follow the San Jose State policy, we wouldn't be purchasing airfare until October. Now, I do understand that finances are a concern to all of us, and we probably would like to save some money. So here's what I'd like to propose. If we can all agree to be on this same flight on January 5th and arriving on January 6th, you can actually purchase your airfare now through the Student Universe portal. So this is a program-specific website that I've set up where you can purchase your airfare now if you wish. So this is the link right here to the specific website. So what you're seeing here is the booking portal. And if you notice, it's already been set up with departing from San Francisco, arriving in Belo Horizonte, departing on January 5th. And if you wish, I've also populated it with a return flight from Rio to San Francisco on the 15th. Now, if you click search, you're going to get the specific flight, which, by the way, is described right down here, that I would like all of us to be on. So, again, I really hope that your schedule will permit you to join us on this flight. The other important thing to notice on this site is trip insurance. Please, 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 please purchase trip insurance if you decide to purchase your airfare now. Purchasing the trip insurance will give you a refund of a portion of your ticket price if you cancel within a certain period of time. So the two things to remember here are, one, if you use this portal, first of all, you'll get student rates, which is great. That'll save you some money. If you search for this specific flight pattern, you'll be able to be on the flight that I'm hoping we'll be on. And third, please read this very carefully down here and purchase trip insurance. And also, there's a contact right here if you have questions about that. So take a look at that when you can. This trip insurance is called enhanced insurance. It covers 75% of the total ticket price if you cancel your flight within a certain period of time. Another reminder, please sign up with your San Jose State education email address. That'll entitle you to the student savings. And also, if you use this promotional code right here, when you book your flight, you'll save 20 bucks. Hey, 20 bucks is something. Again, you do not have to purchase your airfare now. If you'd like to wait a little longer and stick to the San Jose State policy, you can actually purchase your airfare in late October. Okay, to conclude, the last thing I wanted to cover are some next steps. First of all, I would like to try to arrange an informal social event for all of us here in San Francisco sometime in September or October. I think it would be a great idea for everybody traveling to Brazil to get to know each other a little bit. Specifically, I'd like to take you to a Brazilian market in the Mission District here in San Francisco. Maybe we can use that as a way to take a look at some of the products from Brazil that you're likely to see before we go there. And maybe also a chance to practice a little basic Portuguese. Another reminder is for Americans to travel to Brazil, you need a visa. A visa is required. It costs $160. That is not included in your program fee, by the way, so keep that in mind. I've included a link here where you can go to start the process of applying for a visa. Bear in mind, when you apply for your visa, at some point, you'll have to go to the consulate in San Francisco and provide your passport. They will hold your passport for a few days while they process the visa. So just keep that in mind. You're going to be without your passport for, in my case, it was about 3 or 4 days. When you are contacted, you go back to the consulate to pick up your passport, and the visa will be kind of adhered to it. Another thing I'd like to point out, just maybe it goes without saying, but I do want to mention that this trip we're going on in Brazil is a course. It's a 3-unit course. It's not a vacation, though it'll be a course in all respects. There'll be readings, there'll be assignments, a number of lectures, plenty of guest speakers, grades, all that, the whole works. So I just want to make sure we're all in that mindset that this is an educational experience. But of course, we're going to have a ton of fun also. So it'll be a fun course. How about that? Another thing to consider is we can actually accelerate the process of formalizing this course if we can all agree to register for the course by the end of September. Furthermore, if you can commit to fully paying for the course by September 27th, we can actually accelerate the process for formalizing the course and making this course 100% ready to go. So I'll have more to say on that in the future, but for now, just keep that in mind. See if your finances will permit you to pay for the course in full by the end of September. And finally, I set up the group Facebook page. Thank you guys for signing up for it. I hope we'll be able to continue the conversation there. Share some ideas, share some tips for traveling abroad, anything that comes to mind. We can use that as a way to start to build some camaraderie. Okay, so that is what I'd like to cover. Again, keep the key dates in mind. Get those on your calendar as soon as you can, please. This is the specific flight on January 5th that I'd like us all to be on. Use this link right here to purchase that flight and get your student discounts as well. And finally, keep in mind that you'll have to purchase, if you're an American citizen that is, purchase a visa to travel to Brazil. By the way, the visa is good for 10 years after you get it. Okay, folks, I hope you're as excited as I am about this trip. It's going to be a blast. We're going to learn so much and have a fantastic time. I'm barely able to contain myself when I think about this trip. It's going to be so much fun. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be in touch with next steps soon. But thanks for watching.